What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and finally, we have been waiting this entire winter meeting basically to see what the Red Sox were planning on doing during this time span. We've seen players come and go on the free agent market, and really the only news we've heard from the Red Sox from the actual winter meetings themselves was that they were really in on somebody and then eventually lost out to another team, and it was starting to become a pattern. Well, that pattern stopped today because it was announced that the Red Sox have signed legendary and storied closing pitcher Kenley Jansen. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about the Kenley Jansen contract. We're going to go over the years. We're going to go over the dollar amount. We're going to talk about why or why not this contract may make sense. And we're going to talk about what Kenley Jansen's impact on this Red Sox team may look like, how he is going to fit into the 2023 Red Sox bullpen. But before we get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the actual contract itself, how it's going to affect the Red Sox before we get into Kenley's actual impact on this team. Just a couple of minutes, hours, or days ago, depending on when you are watching this video, Jeff Passan tweeted out that the Red Sox and Kenley Jansen were in agreement for a 2-year, $32 million contract. Now, if you want to break that out into average annual value, what he's going to be paid per year, it's about $16 million a year for 2 years. Now, that does sound a little bit pricey on the surface, but if you take a look around the league and who has been signed during these winter meetings, it is pretty clear that teams have been, for the most part, paying above market value for their players to get them on this team. Whether that says something about the actual free agent class itself being a little bit top heavy in terms of talent, or if that says something to the willingness of MLB owners to spend. Either way, it looks like for the most part, if you really want someone on your team, you're gonna have to overspend a little bit, and it appears as though that's exactly what the Red Sox did here. I don't hate this deal at all, honestly. I like the fact that it's a shorter term deal. It's only for 2 years. You're not locked into Kenley Jansen long term, and in my opinion, this is fantastic news outside of just Kenley Jansen for the Red Sox in general. We mentioned in the beginning that really the only news that had come out over winter meetings was that the Red Sox were always falling a little bit short. Well, they went out and they actually got their guy on this one, and it proves that if the Red Sox truly want a player on this team, that they're not afraid to spend for him. What this also probably means for the offseason is that we're not going to see a ton of other bullpen moves made. You've sort of rounded out your bullpen a pretty decent amount with the first 3 signings of the offseason, because the Red Sox have spent $50 million in total this offseason, but it's only been on the bullpen. So will another huge signing bullpen wise be made? I don't think so. I could be completely wrong. They do still need probably at least one more left-handed pitcher, so keep an eye out on that, but I wouldn't exactly expect a ton of other splashes bullpen wise for a little bit. My expectation after this signing is that the Red Sox start focusing on their starting pitching, the hole in the outfield, hopefully Xander Bogaerts, which we will get to at the end of this video. It proved that if the Red Sox truly want a player on this team, that they are not afraid to spend for him. Now let's talk about what impact Kenley Jansen may have on this Red Sox team. As for Kenley himself and his impact on this Red Sox team, I think it'll be a generally positive one, and it's one that I'm really excited for. In his 2022 season, the biggest takeaway I had was that Kenley Jansen finished the year with the 2nd most saves in the entirety of the MLB, coming just one short of tying the league leader Emmanuel Clase A. Now, in terms of his entire statistics in 2022, it was a bit of a down year for the storied closer. He finished 2022 with the Atlanta Braves, where he had a 3.38 ERA, but a much lower expected ERA sitting at 2.34, which means he probably outperformed what his ERA ended up being, and a FIP that was again lower than his ERA, sitting at 3.21, indicating that he was just a little bit unlucky. He also finished the year with a 1.21 ERA plus, which to me is pretty impressive, because if you consider this a down year for Kenley Jansen, his down year was still 21% more productive than the average pitcher in baseball. Over Kenley Jansen's 12 years in the big leagues, though, he has had much better statistics. In those 12 years, he does have 766 games saved, finishing with a 2.46 ERA, a 279 FIP, and a 159 ERA plus, meaning that throughout his entire career, on average, he was about 59% more productive than the average pitcher in baseball. He also has one of the game's deadliest pitches in his cutter. It is one hitters have a terrible time making great contact with, and has been sort of his bread and butter throughout his entire career. Now, there are obviously some concerns with signing Kenley Jansen. He did have a down year in 2022, like we were talking about. Again, still a productive year, but just a down year in Kenley Jansen terms, and he is getting a little bit older. That last year was his year 34 season, and he's going into his age 35 season, and there tends to be some natural regression as you get older with players in baseball, and it's also just statistically more probable that you could be susceptible to injuries as you are older too. But at the end of the day, I'm not entirely concerned with Kenley Jansen and his age, and let me tell you why I actually think you should be excited about this signing as opposed to worried, nervous, or concerned about the money or about his age. Yes, there may be some concerns in Kenley Jansen with his a little bit inflated statistics as well as his age, but in my opinion, there are a lot more reasons to be excited about Kenley than there are to be nervous about him. The first reason you should be excited about this signing is because the Red Sox finally have a closer, something we've been begging the Boston Red Sox for basically since Matt Barnes stopped being Matt Barnes in 2021, but it even dates back a little bit before that. It really dates back to when the Red Sox let go of Craig Kimbrell. Since then, like I said, we had Matt Barnes, who looked like he may be taking the mantle, but that didn't work out. In 2022, you had Tanner Houck for a little bit, who was a very good closer, but it never really felt like the Red Sox were truly wanting to commit to Tanner Houck being the Red Sox closer, and it never really felt like he was truly fit for that role. So to bring in a guy like Kenley Jansen, who is not only a true closer, he's also a proven closer too. He's pitched in big games, he's pitched on big teams, he's pitched in big markets, in the Atlanta Braves, in the Los Angeles Dodgers, right? He's used to the pressure of the ninth inning in a packed stadium where everyone's relying on him to close it out. It's not like he's a new guy trying to learn the ropes. This is a guy who is experienced and ready to go in that closer role. And again, that's something we have not had in a while, and that's something to be excited about. Another reason to be excited about Kenley Jansen is because he's good at what he does. We already talked about his career numbers, so I'm not going to go over those again, but if you're even a little bit concerned about his inflated statistics in 2022, please remember that even though his ERA was a little bit higher than it normally is, he still managed to be able to come in second in all of baseball in saves, just one behind Emmanuel Clase. He sat at 41 total saves, and he also was still 21% more productive than the average pitcher in baseball. That is insanely impressive. Just think about what this team would have looked like if Kenley Jansen was on it to start the year in 2022. You give the Red Sox 41 saves, we are looking at a postseason team at the very least fighting for a wild card spot and above 500. A much better finish to the 2022 season if that 2022 Kenley Jansen was on the Boston Red Sox. So in my opinion, while inflated statistics, yes, may seem like there may be some regression, if the Red Sox can get even 35 saves out of Kenley Jansen, that is well worth the money. Both of those outside of just Kenley Jansen get me excited about what the Red Sox are trying to do. It looks as though they're at least trying to be competitive for 2023. Again, that remains to be seen. There's still a lot of moves to do, but at the very least, the Red Sox really improving on their bullpen is a great start. And finally, the last reason I think you guys should be really excited about Kenley Jansen is because it's going to force the Red Sox to truly define roles in the Red Sox bullpen, right? We've talked about in this channel a ton. One of the big problems with the bullpen in 2022, really in 2021 too, was that there were no defined roles. Bringing in Kenley Jansen, who's this storied, pretty much legendary closer in the game of baseball, really sets the tone. It means that Kenley's going to be the closer, and you can build off of that. Hey, Schreiber, you are now definitively our setup man, right? Hey, Joely Rodriguez, you are now the lefty setup man. Stuff like that. Chris Martin, you're going to be our seventh inning guy. It allows for pitchers to be able to fully train and prepare themselves mentally for a specific role, which in turn makes them even better relievers. So all in all, I think not only does Kenley Jansen improve the Red Sox by himself, but his being here also improves the people around him. And for that, I am truly excited for. So yes, was it a bit of an overpay for Kenley Jansen? Of course. Am I still excited about it? 100%. Am I concerned with the money? No. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of this signing though? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you somewhere in between? Let me know all your thoughts on Kenley Jansen to the Boston Red Sox down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seat.